You're very passionate about judging today, and you want to develop judging as well within the recent times.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about your perspective? How do you think breaking should be judged, and how do you feel about the recent changes in judging too?
I mean, like, look, when it comes to the Olympics, I think it forced us to get our shit together, right? And so whether you like that whole journey or not, it at least made us think about how do we do things, how do we run things, right? And so a few things that really stand out is that there was too much, how do you call it? Was arbitrary, you know, like what people were doing. We were hiring superstar dancers to judge because we think, yeah, since you win, you probably know everything about breaking. But then it turned out to be just a different skill set. You know, the same as your best dancer is not your best teacher, and vice versa, you know? So I think what's happening now with the thing that they came up with the trivium and the trivolt, I think it's a really good thing because it's not telling anybody what to do. You basically, you judge the way you judge, but you're being made aware of the different levels and the qualities that every dance performance has, every solo has, and it introduced comparative judging as a thing. Like, we should have been doing that all the time, but there was too much opinion-based judging, if that makes sense. So if I try and break it down clearly, before everybody thought I can just recognize quality, I see one solo and I give you a score or whatever. And what the new system, the I don't know, the tool that they work with towards the Olympic, what that is doing is it says, no, your quality is compared to the quality of the person in front of you, and that's the only thing that can decide the battle. Not if you like that style or blah blah blah, or you know, because then you don't even have to do a competition. So it now really became a conversation again. And I feel the division in physical, artistic, and interpretive just makes sense, you know? Because it's so easy for especially for a general audience to think breaking is only about the physical ability. And then on the cultural side, we think it's all about the conversation and the artistic side and the creative side. And then we just had this weekend, we had discussions with the stand-up scene, like with some of the OGs. And for them, it's all about the music, which, you know, a lot of them feel the breakers are lacking, or a majority of breakers are lacking. And that's the third part, that's the soul, that's the interpretive part. So for me, I think it's a perfect balance, you know. The mind, body, soul, it might sound just, you know, a bit vague, but I've been like doing this or been thinking about judging and this way of judging for the past, let's say 2 years or 1.5 years. No, 2 years at least. And it just starts making more and more sense. So and the last thing I want to say, like it's where it's such a dope turning point, because it's the first time in history that there's panels of judges using the same criteria, so to speak, or judging on the same qualities. Before, everybody had their own system, and it's just 1, 2, 3, and we don't know what that means, you know? And now there's actually feedback and discussions, and yeah, and I've said this before, but I think the reason I personally am really interested in the whole judging aspect is because I have a background in philosophy, and for me, like, for the people that know philosophy, like it's basically a quest to understand like where we are, our world, you know, all abstract concepts there are, right? So if we are able to break down what we judge breaking on, we basically have a definition of what breaking is about. And this is something that is so interesting about breaking, because there's not many words. Everybody gets into breaking with loud music, not speaking and just imitating. But there was always confusion, like what is really breaking about? Like in the 90s, we had discussions with the Americans. Like we were in Europe, everybody was, it's a freedom dance, you can do whatever you want. And they said, nah, there's rules to this shit, you know, there's a build-up, you know, there's a vocabulary. You can't
foundation over there too, yeah.
You can't add everything into it. So that discussion has been going on for a long time, and then I feel now, yeah, we keep it open because we definitely want to keep evolution as part of that's a part of the DNA. You know, all the things in hip hop, it's like who comes fresh, who comes with something new. So if we don't allow room for this dance to grow, we basically destroy our own dance. And with this judging system, to come back to that, we avoided that trap. Because let's be real, the first questions everybody asked when they heard breaking is going to go to the Olympics is, first of all, is it a sport? So we covered that one by basically saying, yo, it's a hybrid, it's everything at once, and it is what you want to focus on. So if you want to do it as a sport, do it as a sport, because it has all the ingredients. Then the second one is, how will it be judged, right? Because everybody was afraid that it would be judged as gymnastics, points for this move, have your toes like this, all the jokes were there. And then, the people that made this system offered something that escapes that trap. So, yeah, I'm super positive about that.
Okay. And a good aspect that we discussed on the weekend too was the aspect of coaching based on your scores or not scores, but statistics, yes. Yeah. So you can open up your statistics and say, all right, listen up. From the coach's perspective, we can see that you're lacking on this one. You need to work on this one in order to make it better the next time around. Your opponent might be different, but at least if it's consistent, you can see there's something that could be worked on as well.
This is a huge advantage. And this goes hand in hand with the fact that the judges basically look at the same things. They basically give you feedback on the 3 domains, quality domains that are being called. It's not criteria. So the physical, the artistic, the interpretive. And the dope thing with Ant8, they made everything digital. So there's statistics that you can go to the site, you can go click on the decision of every judge and see how they moved the faders. Where they scored you on, or where they awarded you on, like the imbalances. And this is great feedback, and probably it needs some time for the coaches and for outsiders to learn and read statistics. But it replaces you going up to a judge and, yo, what can I work on, and do you have any feedback? And now the feedback is right there. So that's transparency.
Yeah, that's dope.